Namaste. My name is Marissa Segundo with Yoga Etc. Studios in St. Petersburg, Florida. Today we're going to practice beginner yoga. So find a place in your home where you can be quiet, unroll your mat, and just spend some time disconnecting from the world, focusing inward, and honoring your body in this space for the next 50 minutes or so. So we begin each yoga practice with the first Yoga Sutra, Atha Yoga Anushasana, which means now we begin yoga. Join in if you'd like. Atha Yoga Anushasana. And please join me in the sound and vibration of Om. Inhaling to prepare. And with your hands still at heart center, take a moment to create an intention for your practice, for your life, or for this moment. Hold that intention in your heart and then clear it from your mind as you either leave your hands at heart center or draw them along your sides, connecting thumb and forefinger. And just take this time to slow down. Connect fully with your body in this space, in this moment. Watch your breath. Notice how it comes in and out naturally without changing it. Allow your facial features to relax, your forehead to soften. Invite your eyes to close gently or to remain focused on one single point. Continuing to allow your day to just drift away so you can focus fully on yourself in this practice. Invite your top jaw to separate from your bottom jaw, and your tongue to hang loose in your mouth. Connecting with the rhythm of your breath. You haven't begun to do so naturally, beginning with your breath, breathing in through your nose, allowing that air to travel deep into your belly, expanding your belly band. As you exhale, collapsing your belly, allowing that air to travel up and out your nostrils. You'd like to feel the change in the air going into your belly. You can place your hand on your belly, and as you inhale, feel your belly get bigger, as if you're inhaling and inflating a balloon. As you exhale, feel your hand come closer to your back as you exhale all of that air, as if you're emptying a glass of water. Just feel these changes as you inhale all the way deeply into your belly. Exhale, clear all of that air up and out your nostrils. Continue to find your rhythm and stay present in this moment, realizing that the rhythm of your breath will guide you through your practice. You want to make your breath audible. Take Ujjayi breath, or just really taking your time to count the seconds of your breath. Maybe making your inhales a little bit longer, and then your exhales a little bit longer. Really take the the time to be mindful of your breath and that rhythm in this moment. Our breath is the most foundational thing we can do in our yoga practice. And just allow waves of relaxation to start the very tip of your spine and gently travel down to the base of your spine. And so then you notice another breath. And on your next inhale, rolling the shoulders back and down, lengthening the spine. And as you exhale, allow the chin to travel down toward the chest as the crown of the head falls forward, lengthening the back of the neck. You may want to press your hands into your legs a little bit so you start to actually feel engagement in your shoulders. On your next inhale, gently elevate the chin back to center. And as you exhale, elevate the chin up towards the sky. If you'd like to feel a little bit more length here, you can place the bottom lip over the top lip. And you exhale, allow the chin to come back to center. Aligning the spine as you inhale. And on your next exhale, place the hands at heart center. Inhale them up, all the way up over your head. Exhale, palms forwards, and draw a giant circle with your hands. But just take your time, especially when you get to about shoulder height. Hold your hands out to a T. Allow the shoulder blades to come together. Take a deep breath and pause when your hands are at shoulder height. Before you gently allow them to come all the way back around and find their way to Anjali Mudra. Inhale the clasped hands up over your head. This time exhale down with the right hand. Leave the left hand up tall. And exhale down on the right hand side of the body. Turning the heart up towards the sky. The head or neck can be loose. You can be looking down at the bottom fingers or up at the top hand. Whatever feels good for you. Inhale the fingertips all the way up to the sky. Exhale down. Inhale tall. Exhale all the way to the left hand side. Feel that length and think about kind of pressing down on your right hip so you really feel the length all the way through the right hand side of the body. Inhale the fingertips up towards the sky. Exhale down. And hands to heart center. Once again, inhaling the clasped hands up towards the sky. Exhale, palms forward. We're going to pause when we get to shoulder height once again. Draw the shoulder blades together. And just pause. Maybe do a couple of, pull the palms towards the ground and just do a couple of shoulder rolls or arm circles rather. And we'll circle in one direction, we'll turn, circle the opposite direction. And eventually bringing our hands back to Anjali Mudra. We'll place our hands on our kneecaps, and at this point, if your feet are starting to fall asleep and you need to pull one leg in front of the other, or even just align your ankles so it's a nice seated, connecting to the floor Sukhasana. Whatever feels good for you. If you need support for your knees, you can go ahead and grab a couple of pillows if that feels good. Or blocks. And we'll place our hands on our knees. And lengthen our arms around the spine. I'm going to turn to the side so you can really see, rounding to the side. So we're doing a seated cat pose. Bring our gaze down to our belly button, rounding the spine. Inhale up, drawing the heart forward. Shoulder blades come together in the back. So we're closing that space between the rhomboids. If it feels good to place the bottom lip over the top lip and find a little bit more length here, you can do that. Exhaling around the spine. Bring your gaze down to your belly button. Inhale up, drawing the heart forward, drawing the shoulder blades together in the back. Exhale around the spine. Inhale, last time drawing the shoulder blades together. Exhaling around the spine. We'll come back to center. We'll take these motions, these two motions that we just did, and we'll draw a little bit more movement, doing our Sufi circles. So we'll draw our heart forward and go over to the right hand side, and circling kind of that seated cat position over to the left side. And just do this at your own pace. So maybe you want to go a little faster, maybe you want to go really slow and just focus on one spot, kind of get in there a little bit. Once you circle in one direction, make sure you circle in the opposite direction. So just take a moment in these. You feel a length on the right hand side of the neck. Nice long length there. And if you want, you can place your left hand on the earth and then just feel that length in your neck. And then when you're ready, you can switch sides, allowing the left ear to hover over the left shoulder, left hand above the right ear, right hand can be on the earth, pressing into the earth away, but really focused on this length on the neck. And then when you're ready, release your hand from the top of your head. And just spending a little bit more time with our upper back, which if you have neck or upper back issues, a lot of times those entities are connected and need to be strengthened in order to not feel compressed from our daily isolated activities. So with our neck, we'll go ahead and just once again draw, as we exhale, draw the chin down toward the chest. And from here, we'll just look as far to the left, so we're down and to the left, towards your left knee as possible. And then we'll exhale, draw the chin closer to the chest. And then bring our gaze as we inhale over to the opposite knee. And feeling that length. If it feels good to just hang your head forward and go back and forth, just take your time and understand that you don't have to rush. If your neck is tight, one of the worst things you can do is have really rapid movements. Just take your time, breathe into this space, and realize that you can do this at any time. And neck issues don't just reside on the neck itself. A lot of that comes from the upper back as well. So we will bring our arms out to a T and cross our right elbow in front of the left elbow. Draw the palms towards the sky, and then the back of the hands together, and then the front of the hands together for eagle arms. This should feel good and open up the back of the upper back. If it feels good to you, you can bow forward.
So now that we've done a little bit of engagement through our seated cats and cows, you may find yourself able to engage a little bit more fully in this pose.
We'll inhale up, unravel our arms. You may not want to unravel all the way. Maybe you want to give yourself a little bit of a back massage, a neck massage, whatever feels good. We'll do that this time. Then fully unravel your arms. Bringing the arms, I'll just actually stay this way. Bring our arms back to a T. And then we'll bring our arms behind us. And you can grab opposite elbows. This time we want to draw our shoulder blades together, recreating that same posture that we did in our cow pose. And if your practice allows for a reverse prayer posture, you can do that too, if that feels good. Whatever your body's calling for. And then we'll unravel our arms behind us, just taking your time, understanding our arms are kind of twisted in this way. And then we'll bring our arms back in front of us, this time crossing the left elbow over the right elbow. Back of the hands come together, then the palms. You want to make sure that your thumb is pointed towards your third eye, so right in the middle of the forehead, between the eyes, for eagle arms. And if you'd like to bow forward, you can.
You may notice a difference on one side than the other, and that's perfectly normal. And if you can bend all the way down, make sure you're not pressing into the earth like I was just doing with your elbow, because you're actually putting more stress on your forearms than you need to. So this actually helps your core too, if you're just engaging your core and hanging out above the earth.
Then we'll inhale up, unravel our arms, bring our arms out to the side, and then draw them behind us, either connecting opposite elbows or reverse prayer posture. As I say to my students all the time, reverse prayer posture may be a fun party trick. All it is wrist flexibility. So don't force your way into it. I will tend to see students who their arms are here and forcing their wrists together. It's not worth it. What you want to get with this posture is to draw the shoulder blades together. Relax the shoulders down. Open the heart. That's the benefit of this posture, not being able to draw your palms together. But we can work on wrist flexibility. So from here, we'll unravel our arms, draw them back to center, and let's this time find just Anjali Mudra, prayer posture. So let's come onto our hands and knees. We'll often get people that are having issues with carpal tunnel or even just really tight wrists in general. So we'll spread our fingers wide apart. The little crease in our wrists will be just below our shoulders. Make sure that our knees are just aligned with our hips. And if you need extra knee protection, you can bring a blanket, or sometimes you can just fold your mat over a little bit to protect your knees. Sometimes that is a quick fix. If you're in the middle of a class and you know that the knee exercise isn't going to last for very long. So that'll give you a little bit of extra weight. Also understand that if you are in hands and knees, that you have the option of putting the soles of the tops of the feet down. You can always curl your toes under too if you need a little bit more foundation and balance. So from here, we're going to take our thumbs, starting with the right thumb, and externally rotate it. So you're going to go toward the outside of your mat with your thumb. And then we'll gently place the hand down, fingers spread wide apart, and we're not going to put any weight on the hand at all. Just enough that you feel engagement, and you still want to engage the fingers. So maybe curl the fingers a little bit so you make sure that your weight is on the fingers more than the rest. Then we're going to internally rotate. So we're going to take our thumbs and face them thumb to thumb. So internally rotating towards your opposite hand. Now we'll take the tops of our hand and place it down. Same thing, the majority of my weight is on my knees, not on my wrists in this moment. Certainly not on my right wrist, where the tops of my right hand is placed. This is a good exercise or engagement for your hands. So we'll bring that back. But at the same time, you're working on your distribution of your weight as well. So do the same thing on the left-hand side. The left thumb externally rotates towards the outside of the mat. You can see my fingers are spread wide apart. I'm not hardly putting any weight on that side. And we'll internally rotate that back. Now we've got both thumbs facing each other. Then we'll take the top of the left hand and gently place it on the mat. Not putting any weight on this, hardly at all. This is really important because you could really hurt yourself by trying to put too much weight. I am putting quite a bit of weight though on the back of my body and also on my opposite hand. And then bringing that back. So from here, let's just go ahead and do a couple of cats and cows. So if you want to keep your little knee pad, you can continue to do that. And we'll inhale, draw the shoulder blades together. The last thing that comes up is the crown of the head for cow pose. If you like the bottom lip over the top lip, you can do that here. Exhale around the spine. Allow the head to hang forward. Maybe shake it from side to side or up and down. Inhale, melt the heart forward. Draw the shoulder blades together. Last thing that comes up is the crown of the head. Exhale around in the spine. Allow the head to hang forward. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, for cat pose, pressing into your thumb and pointer finger. Feel how your wrists maybe feel a little bit different than they did before. And we'll come back to our long spine, our tabletop position. From here, if you need the extra knee pad, you can once again still leave that there. We're going to lengthen back with the right leg and press into the right heel. So our right toes are still on the earth. Okay, and I'm pressing into my heel and I'm feeling length all the way through my calf, into my thigh. But I also want to make sure that the hip isn't open. So we don't want our hip to be, we don't want to pivot our foot right now. We just have parallel hips pressing into our heel. This should feel good if you have tight calves. And then I want you to curl your left toes so you get a little bit of a stability. We're going to lengthen up with the right leg. So we still want to be careful to make our hips equal and not avoid the temptation to open the hips. And if this feels good, you can stay here. You can elevate out with the left hand. So the left hand elevates, still having square hips. Strong flexed back foot. Connecting with your breath. We'll place the left hand down, followed by the right knee. Take a moment to shake your yoga tail. Shaking the hips from side to side. And we'll lengthen back with the left leg. So left leg long, we're pressing into the calf. Should feel good. Maybe even want to do some ankle circles. And then when you feel ready, I'll elevate up with the flex to back left foot. Long left leg behind you if you can make it. So it's parallel, so your knee is parallel to the earth, and the leg is an extension of the hip. I forgot to tell you to tuck your right toes, but hopefully you did that automatically. And take the right arm, extend it out, palm up towards the sky. Connect to your breath. Press into the left fingers. Press into the right knee. so you can distribute your weight. Connect to your breath. And we'll place our right hand down, followed by the left knee, and we'll shake our yoga tail. Alright, so from here we'll place our hands maybe 2 hand lengths in front of us. If you've curled your mat up, you can actually use your feet to lengthen your mat out a little bit. So our hands are long in front of us, and we're going to just melt down into an extended child's pose, which should feel really good. Use your mat as a tool. So imagine you're pressing your mat forward away from you, and see how that really gets into your upper back and your mid back. Head can hang forward. Maybe you want to make your extended child's pose a little wider, so widening your legs, connecting with the earth a little more fully. So remember that your extended child's pose is the same upper body as you find in downward facing dog. The shoulder blades come together. The arms are an extension of the shoulders. Shoulders are an extension of the wrists. Fingers are fed wide apart and active. And from here you can elevate the hips, tuck the toes, and take your time walking to a downward facing dog. So you may want to just walk your dog out, bending opposite knees, pressing down on your heels, and just kind of playing for a moment. Remember when I first started practicing yoga, I would go, ugh, not downward dog. But after a while, after you practice it, you learn how to distribute your weight a little bit more evenly, or use the tools that are in your toolbox. So if you're near a wall, or in this case, if you're near a cabinet, I can press my heels into this cabinet and take some weight off of my fingers. And now I can focus on my hamstrings and really press into my shoulder blades. So decide what works for you. Back to the mat. And then from here, we'll just shift our weight forward, coming into a plank pose. Once again, with our plank pose, we want to press into our heels to make a stronger plank. And then this isn't as horrible of a posture to hold. And we'll lower down on our knees, chest, and chin. Placing the forearms on the earth, you can either come up into a baby cobra. So for in a baby cobra, our elbows are close to our body. You can come into a sphinx. So the forearms are on the earth. Fingers are spread wide apart and active. Or you can come into a full cobra. Shoulders melt downward. Decide what works for you. Hold for as many breaths as you need to before we elevate back to a plank. Then we'll walk our plank all the way up to a downward facing dog. So from our downward facing dog, we'll just walk our feet in between our hands and hang out in Uttanasana or forward fold. So as we're in our forward fold, if you need to bend your knees a little bit so you're not kind of jamming your knees into your legs, that would be good. If you're somebody who can give your legs a hug, you can do that if it feels good. Once again, not something that you have to strive to do. You don't win any flexibility awards, but everyone's in different spaces. There are different levels of flexibility, and different body shapes do different things. So don't beat yourself up if your body doesn't do something. Work what you can in your own space without judgment. And then when you're ready, we'll very slowly start to round the spine, stacking one vertebra onto the next until we come to a nice long spine. So from here, Hands are at heart center, Anjali Mudra. Inhale the clasped hands up over the head. Find a little back bend. Exhale, swan dive forward. Hands to the legs for flat back extension. Exhale, hands on either side of the feet. Jumping back with the right foot. We're in a high lunge, followed by the left. Now we're in a plank again. Remember, for plank, we're going to press into our heels. Press them away from us. And then lower down, knees, chest, and chin. Inhale for cobra. Mounting the shoulders away from the ears. Tucking the toes, exhale, downward facing dog. Jumping forward with the left foot, and if you need to use your left hand to hook and drag that left leg forward, feel free. We'll push back on our right toes and hop them to meet the left. Reverse swan dive. Hands to the heart center. Inhale the clasped hands all the way up, little back bend. Exhale, swan dive forward. Hands to the legs for flat back extension. So when I mean flat back extension, that means the shoulder blades come together just like we were doing in the seated cow pose. Exhale, hands on either side of the feet, jumping back to the left foot. High left lunge, followed by the right. Lower down, knees, chest, and chin. Inhale for cobra. Tucking the toes. Exhale, downward facing dog. Jumping forward with the right foot. Once again, if you need to hook, drag that guy forward, go for it. Followed by the left. Reverse swan dive. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale the clasped hands up all the way up. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale, flat back extension. Exhale, hands on either side of the feet. Jumping back with the right foot, leaving the left foot forward. The right foot comes down, pivots to the earth. Maybe even hop it a little bit more towards the outside of the mat. Inhale, reach up towards the sky. Find yourself in warrior one. Very important that our hips are squared forward. Maybe you want to find a little back bend. Maybe you want your arms to come behind your back. Connect opposite elbows. Or reverse prayer posture if that feels good. Unravel your hands behind you. Throw them up to the sky. Exhale, we're just going to bow forward. Find ourselves in a pyramid pose. From our pyramid pose, we're going to pivot down with the back right leg. Lengthen, keep the front leg lengthened, and find ourselves in a triangle. So for a triangle, you can have your left hand on your left calf. Right arm's going to be up towards the sky. See if you can make a straight or a long line between your top hand and your bottom hand for triangle. Circle the top arm around, bending the front foot. Oh my gosh, we're in warrior one again. Excellent. Let's open up for warrior two. Shoulder blades come together. Nice strong hands. Our drishti is over the front middle finger. It's our gaze point. Circling hands around. Why do we keep finding ourselves in warrior one? So we're switching around to warrior one. Then we bring our hands to the earth. Pivot the back foot before we hop the left foot backwards to meet the right foot. Now we're in a plank, so pressing back onto our heels. Lowering down, knees, chest, and chin, or chaturanga. Inhale for cobra. Tuck in toes, exhale, downward facing dog. Spend a moment in your dog. Maybe walk it. Maybe shake your head from side to side. We're going to hop forward with the right foot. Pivot down with the left foot behind you. So we're in a high right lunge. Inhale, fingertips up to the sky. We're in warrior one. Fingers are spread wide apart and active. Really want to bend this front leg so we have this 90-degree angle. Connect with your breath and find your smile. And reach tall behind you. Before we exhale, lengthening the front foot. Find your pyramid pose. You can bring your arms behind you if you didn't in Warrior One. You can do that during pyramid. And we'll take the right hand, place it right in front of the right thigh. If you want to connect it to the earth, you can do that too. Or if you need a block, you can do that as well. Inhale up with the left hand, reaching up towards the sky. Length through the side body. Enjoy your triangle. And we'll swoop this top hand around, bend the front knee, find ourselves back in Warrior One. And we'll swoop both hands towards the earth, pivoting the left foot and hopping it to meet the right. Reverse swan dive, low back bend. Exhale, hands to heart center. Okay. So now we have a little heat, so you should feel like a little bit more energized. And let's find ourselves in let's find a tree pose. So in our tree pose, actually, yeah, we can do that. We'll do a tree pose. So roll the shoulders back and down. Start on our right foot. We'll spread the toes far apart. Place the hands at heart center. We want to find a point in front of us that doesn't move. So whether it's directly in front of us or above, kind of towards the ceiling. That way your gaze is up, you can find the alignment of all your chakras and energy points, and that will help you with your balance. You can also use, if you've got a wall behind you, you can use the wall. You can either place your bum on the wall, you can place your hand on the wall, probably the hand that is on your opposite foot hand. So decide what works for you. Also understand there's 3 places that you can put your foot. You can just leave the tops of your foot on the earth. Knee comes out to the side. This is the most important part because you want your hips to be open and your knee to be out to the side as much as possible. So that's a challenge when you're working on form, but it's very important for your form that you really work on that rather than balance. Balance will come after time. Make sure that also your right knee is bent slightly. That way you're not over straightening it and causing potential injury. So you can place the tops of your foot on the floor. You can place it on your calf. You can place it above your knee, or you can tuck it right above your head. So decide what works for you. Once again, if you want to use the wall, that also helps to open the knee because you have something to aim for. So you can start with hands at heart center, or you can elevate them over your head, or you can grow your branches. Decide where your body wants to be today and what is most challenging for your balance practice. Just like yoga practice, we practice our balance. It's not something that comes naturally to adults every day. That's something we have to work at. And when you decide it's time to come out of this balance, try to come out of it with as much grace as you came into it. So just unraveling your feet a bit. And then we'll do the same thing on the opposite side. So we'll focus on our left foot, spreading the left toes, bending the left knee a little bit. And then now the same thing on the right hand side. So you can either place the right heel just above the left ankle. You can place the sole of the right foot on the calf. The thing you want to avoid is your knee. So you don't want to place it just right directly on your knee. whatever space works for you in this moment, making sure you find your balance points and finding your breath. You want to grow your arms above your head, great. You want to grow your branches. Picture what kind of tree you would be. What season is it on your tree? And then eventually, when you're ready, take your time, coming all the way back. Maybe just walking your feet out. Doing some ankle circles, if that feels right to you. Okay. So we'll find ourselves at the front of our mat. And we'll place our hands at heart center. Inhale to clasp hands up over your head. Circle the arms around. Bending the knees. Find ourselves in a chair pose. So you can decide how deep you want your chair to be. You can do a chair cha-cha if you are so inclined. You want a little bit of a twist, you can cross your chair over. This also, so that I'm starting with my right leg. This acts as an additional balance if you want to balance. And then you would do the same thing on the left side, or with the left leg. And then place that down. And we'll circle arms behind us, find ourselves in a Hindi squat. Nice long spine. Think about the neck coming out of the shoulders. Then lengthen the arms forward and connect with the earth. So we're connecting with the earth, and we'll find a nice long spine and place the soles of our feet squarely into the mat. And they're also going to be, the ankles are aligned with the knees are aligned with the hips. And think about just pressing down on the mat with your feet, almost grabbing the mat with your feet. Nice long spine, lengthen the arms so the palms are up towards the sky. And just using our core to lower yourself on the mat as slowly and consciously as possible. And the slowest way you can. And eventually find yourself with your spine on the earth. So, with the soles of our feet still flat on the earth, we'll elevate our feet up towards the sky, flex the feet. If at this time you want to place a block underneath your sits bones, so just kind of elevating up your hips and placing a block under there, you can also, if you don't have a block handy, you can take your mat and just fold it over a tiny bit so it gives you a little bit of additional padding. And we'll elevate our feet above, up towards the sky. And if you want a little motion still, you can do some circles on the sky, if that feels good. But this is a good inversion. Changing the blood flow, helping to increase circulation. And if you circle both ways, then you're ready to you can bend the knees, grab the outsides of your feet for happy baby pose. Get into the hips a little bit. Or you can bring the soles of the feet together for frog pose. Whatever feels good for you. And we'll bring the soles of the feet together and allow the knees to fall out to the side for Baddha Konasana, or Supta Baddha Konasana, or reclined bound angle. Just for a moment, and if you need to make any adjustments, maybe even want to move if you've given yourself a little bit of padding, maybe you want to just allow the mat to be flat underneath you. Maybe you want to put some blocks under your feet for a moment, not the feet, but your knees for a moment.
You may want to put weights, if you need a little bit more, on the insides of your thighs. So kind of the soft yoga weights, whatever is calling to you in this moment. You can find a mudra. Get on mudra, arms out to the side. And just connecting with your breath. Staying present in this moment and just allowing the warmth and heat we've created during this practice to just help our muscles just naturally relax into this posture and surrender to it. And when you're ready, you can bring your knees together. Maybe give yourself a lower back massage if that feels good. We'll allow our knees to fall over to the right hand side. Our arms come out to a T and our gaze is to the left hand side. So our gaze is opposite our knees. And if there's any type of adjustments you need to make so your upper body can connect fully with the earth. There goes my singing bowl. If you want to cross your top leg over your bottom leg, maybe you just want to lengthen your legs out to the side. Whatever feels good so you can enjoy a lower body twist. Connect to your breath. And just take your time to enjoy this twist. Understanding that twists are helpful for not only for our flexibility, they help improve digestion, they help to engage a lot of different internal organs that we need to engage that we really can't get to in our isolated everyday activities. Connecting with your breath. And just really being present. Having a non-judgmental conversation with your body to decide what you've learned today without judgment. When you're ready, you can unravel your legs and very slowly bring them back to center. Maybe you're massaging your lower back again, if that feels good. Before we allow our knees to fall over to the opposite side. Arms open out to a T. Crossing one leg over the other if that feels good. If you notice that you have a wall or something in your way, you can also engage with the wall and decide what works for you. You can press into the wall with your feet, and that can help you to connect more fully in your twist. And you may find that in a twist situation that emotions come up, and that's okay. Because your body is also working through different emotions. And a lot of times it's toward the end of a yoga class when you're fully relaxed and present that certain emotions may come up. So just breathe into this space and realize that this is our time of self-care and letting go. Now when you're ready, we'll unravel our feet and draw them back to center. Then at this time, if there's any final posture that the body is craving, feel free and engage in that posture at this time before we enter Shavasana. And whenever you end up meeting us in Shavasana, just make sure that your palms are up towards the ceiling, towards the sky. Ankles are aligned with your hips. Hips are aligned with the shoulders. And that you just find the pause between the spaces. And during Shavasana, you can connect fully with the earth. Be present in this moment. Continue to enjoy this posture. Just continue to let the world go. As you focus fully, taking a mental scan of your body, noticing what you've learned in this yoga practice without judgment. And think about what you want to gift to the rest of the world that you learned during your yoga practice. Whether it's a connection with your breath, whether it's finding a yoga smile, or providing balance. All of these things you can not only give yourself, but to give others around you. So you can connect with your breath. Slowly allow your body to come back to full awareness. Wiggling your fingers, wiggling your toes, touching your thumb to each finger, one at a time, connecting with the energies of earth, air, fire, and water. Sa, ta, na. Stretch your arms long over your head and your legs long in front of you. Stretching your energies from fingertips to tips of toes. When you're ready, drawing your knees into your chest and giving a hug. Rocking side to side or in a circle to massage your lower back. And then when you're ready, allow your knees to fall over to the right hand side and rest there for a moment in a fetal position. Our final resting posture is called Shavasana, or corpse pose, where we allow any unwanted thoughts, feelings, or energies to die in this posture. In this fetal position, we are reborn, ready to lead a new life of mindfulness, awareness of our body, breath, and all of the beautiful energy around us. Whenever you're ready, bringing only the good and positive energy with you, slowly help yourself up to an easy seated position. And with a nice long spine and hands at heart center, I invite you to join me as we seal this practice as we begin with a sound and vibration
Inhale to prepare. Shanti, shanti, shanti. May your mind be open. May your words be mindful. May your heart be open and abundant with love. Namaste.